The following video is not made for kids under 13. If you are not 13 years old, please exit out of the video now. And please, YouTube, do not sue me. Sup guys, Mooky here, and I'm back with another part of What If Izuku was trained by all the Shonen Jump protagonists. This is part 3. In the last part, it being part 2.5, Izuku learned to get his Zanpakuto and learned how to control his Reishi, but is unable to use his Reishi in his other forms, for his other abilities actually. So yeah. Now with him doing some training and now preparing for the entrance exam. Well, with that said, let's get into this. As Izuku stands in front of the entrance of UA, the school of his dreams, and where he'll be taking place during the entrance exam. As he soon walks, he soon gets a message from Yu. As the message saying, good luck with the entrance exam, and knowing you're going to pass with flying colors, with showing a winky face and a heart emoji. As for Izuku, he sends a message back to her saying thanks for the encouraging words. And knowing that you're supporting me and cheering me on helps me out a lot. After typing this, he soon sends the message. Soon after, he soon reminisces that he knows he has this in the bag. He doesn't know what to expect, but he's prepared for almost anything to happen in the entrance exam. As he begins walking, he soon remembers that the training he's done wasn't just against his own clones for his Bankai training, but he's also fought against actual villains as well. Because he decided to take up a little bit of vigilanteism after all. But knowing that somebody would recognize him, he decided to wear the clothing that he's got from other worlds, and also use his clones to be the vigilantes and use the Shadow Clone Jutsu to create his vigilante counterparts. For example, with one of his clones, he wears his border jacket and also wears a hoodie to keep and also a mask to keep people from knowing that it's him, where he mostly just uses his try-on and triggers. As the months went by, they named him and this vigilante self of him as Ion. And soon his other one being, he dressed in his old kimono that he had when he was in the world of Demon Slayer. He also wears sunglasses as well to keep his eyes from being seen and knowing who he is. And he also uses mostly his total concentration breathing or using his Zanpakuto, as they dubbed him the Ronin. And as for his last vigilante self, he basically wears his Naruto headband and just wears some regular street clothes and a jacket that covers his mouth as well, where he uses his Nen and Chakra alongside his Cosmo as well, as they give him the name the Shadow, as he fights only when people can barely even see him and comes up and sneaks behind them instead of fighting up close and personal like his other vigilante counterparts. With this, these clones gain the experience and the knowledge on how to fight against certain villains in certain situations as well. With this combat knowledge, he had skills and the abilities to fight against actual villains, and knowing what to prepare for when he goes pro, as he realized that he's way too strong as he is now. As Izuku began thinking this to himself, he soon had another message and it once again being from Mount Lady, as saying that if he gets accepted to UA, she will give him quite a surprise. As Izuku's thinking, what kind of surprise? As he didn't know where he was looking, and he began to fall, as saying, well, shit. Soon after, stopping himself by falling with just one hand and then flipping in the air. As soon after, he soon started walking again, saying, gotta be more careful, and certainly not look at my phone while walking. As he puts his phone back, he soon noticed that there was a girl going to help him with brunette hair, and is saying, I wouldn't want to inconvenience her. After making it into the inside, he soon sees President Mike, as during there, he began explaining the details for the entrance exam. As during this, he began explaining that they'll be taking a written exam first, and then the practical exam, where they'll be fighting against robots, ranging from 1 point all the way to 3 points. As soon after, Ida raises his hand just like in canon, with asking the same questions about the 4th robot, as it's not even listed on their papers, and saying if this is an error for such a pristine school such as UA. As soon after, President Mike explains the situation about the 4th robot being more of an obstacle than gaining any points from it. If anything, it's more worth 0 points. As soon after hearing this, Ida saying, okay then, I am now satisfied with my question. After hearing that, Izuku began thinking to himself, there's more than just being an obstacle. There's something worth taking down a 0-pointer. And when it does show up, I'll take it down myself. Besides, I need a bit of a challenge. As Izuku began thinking this to himself, with him just having a smug smile, with Bakugo, who's still sitting beside him, thinking, he probably thinks he has this in a bag. Just you wait, Deku. I'll surpass you in this exam. I'll get the top spot. Just you wait. After this, Izuku basically passes the well-written exam like it was nothing, because while his clones were doing vigilante work around the city, he was studying for the entrance exam, for the written portion, of course. So, whatever happened, so he was prepared for anything to happen. Knowing him, he most likely got the top score in the written portion after all. After that, they soon take a bus to one of the artificial cities made by UA, as Izuku thinks they have all this money to make artificial locations like this? That's insane. But it's to be expected for one of the most pristine schools in the country. As soon after, he sees the girl that was trying to help him when he was falling, as he wanted to ask what her name was, and soon he stopped himself and grabbed somebody's hand that was going to be on his shoulder. As soon after, it was the blue-haired boy from just like in the presentation hall, being Ida, as he asked, can I help you? Because you seem like you're really trying to bother me right now, when I have nothing to do with you. As Ida saying, such reflexes. And not only that, he didn't even know he grabbed me before I even showed myself. As soon Izuku let go, saying, look, you're probably thinking that I'm here to distract somebody or I'm just here to play around. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to become a hero. I'm here to get into the hero course. And I'm here to show that I'm going to become the next #1 hero. That's a promise. As soon after, Ida was shocked to hear from a guy he doesn't even know about that he said all of this just directly, with not a sense of hesitation or shyness within his voice at all. As soon after, President Mike says, as soon as those doors open, you go out there, destroy as many robots as you can. Now, we're not giving you any time to prepare. As soon after, the Izuku hears this and thinks, I got this. As for a split second, he looks within an opening. He looks for at least a small opening within the door. As they begin opening, he soon is already past them. As everyone that began running in first see this as well and thinks, wait, where the hell did he come from? As Izuku is already past them and began even going further and further behind everyone else's sight. As Ida, who had his engine quirk, basically see this saying, he's even faster than me? That's insane. I didn't even know that. As soon after, Izuku began feeling around saying, of course, just because they're robots doesn't mean they have any energy to sense. So I'm just gonna have to keep looking. As he begins using his Cosmo to enhance his senses, his sense of sight, as he sees the first robot and says, there you are. As he draws his Nichiri katana and says, water breathing, first form, water surface slash, and destroys one of the robots, being a 2-pointer instead. As he thinks, this is going to be way too easy. Hell, if anything, I can destroy as many robots as I can. As he looks behind him and sees that a couple people are starting to catch up to him. As he begins thinking, many people are going to be fighting against robots and probably going to need some help. As he begins creating at least 5 shadow clones, with giving them orders saying, if anyone feels like they're struggling, help them out. Don't step in without seeing them having a hard time. Got it, guys? As they all nod and saying, good, now head out. As soon as they all soon disappear, he soon sees multiple robots as he generates his dying will flames and says, Zen Cannon! As a blast of fire soon destroys almost all of the robots instantly like they were nothing. As soon after, he begins destroying multiple robots easily with using one of his triggers, with the trigger be forming his Kotsu sword, where using both his Nichiri katana and his Trion sword, slashing away at 0-pointers easily, with using both total concentration breathing, Cosmo, easily, alongside using his Trion and his teleportation ability too, to get the upper hand. As for many of his clones, they step in when a couple of people began feeling troubled and began struggling in certain situations, with one saving Tokoyami, another one helping out Aoyama when he began overusing his naval laser, and also one that's supporting Shoji with facing against a 3-pointer, multiple 3-pointers as well. As all the teachers see this saying, this is weird. As Snipe began asking his teacher and saying, what do you mean ectoplasm? I mean, I see multiple participants. Five of them looking like the same, with green hair and freckles. And not only that, they're using different types of weapons. One using a sword, the other using his hands, then one using flames, and so on and so forth. With Midnight thinking, could you think that they might be siblings? Or it isn't too far off after all. As Polar said, yeah, but 5 siblings? I mean, that's a thing, but it's rare, if anything. As soon after, All Might sees the saying, it's young Midoriya. It looks like he's letting loose out there. As soon after, Principal Nezu saying, even so, even with people who are gifted, they have to face against an obstacle that would even give them a run for their money as heroes. let's see how they do against this. As All Might presses a button, with soon after, Izuku begins feeling something. It's far away right now, but he notices that it's big. As he thinks, this must be it. The 0 pointer. As he begins smiling, as soon after, all the other participants begin noticing this as well, as they begin wondering what's going on. As soon after, the 0 pointer and all the other participants see it, with it being over their heads, as each and every one of them began running like crazy. As soon after, one of the clones saves a couple other participants and helping out anybody who began panicking like crazy and getting them to safety as well, with the main Izuku thinking this is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of fun. As he soon hears a girl with brunette hair screaming out for help, as Izuku realizes she's under debris. Surely they wouldn't just leave her out there to be crushed. Surely many of the teachers would come out and help. They wouldn't, as Izuku thinks, no. This is the test for the entrance exam. They wouldn't leave her to be crushed, but they would expect somebody here to help them no matter what. So, that's exactly what I'm going to do. As Izuku takes a deep breath, soon puts his hand on his chest, and soon says, "Come out, Yusa," as a long sword begins appearing on his back, being his Zanpakuto. As he draws it, he soon uses his Reishi, airwalk, and move as fast as he can to Ochako. As he's saying, "What are you doing? You gotta get out of here. You'll get hurt." As Izuku basically just lifts the debris off her easily and grabs her butt and puts her on his shoulder, as she's saying, "Wait, he's so strong, and yet he doesn't look like..." As he moves as fast as he can from the 0 pointer, with him actually making it all the way back to the entrance pretty quickly, as many of them say, "Wait, where the hell did you come from?" As saying, "Can you guys take care of her, or at least get her to somewhere safe? I gotta get going." As he soon disappears, as everyone thinks, "What the hell? Where did he come? Where did he go?" As she thinks, "Is he going to..." Soon after, he's right in front of the 0 pointer, as the 0 pointer sees Izuku and was about to crush him with his mechanical arm, as Izuku cuts it in half like it was nothing, as he begins saying, "Is that all you got? Well then, how about something like this?" As soon his reishi begins flowing all around him, as his hair begins standing up and even flowing as well, as he gives off that of a cocky smile and says, "This is it. Let's end this. Getsuga Tensho!" And slashes down, with Izuku, with the 0 pointer being cut in half by a giant wave of spiritual energy. And soon, however, whatever behind him was destroyed. However, the buildings were not destroyed. The only thing that was destroyed in its wake was just a 0 pointer and the road behind it. As Izuku thinks, well, that takes care of that. I thought for sure that would actually give me a run for my money, but I guess not. As soon after, Izuku's clones began arriving right back at him, saying, "So, did you guys help as many people as you can?" As one of the clones saying, "Yeah," and one of them saying, "I also took care of a couple of robots to get us some extra points. So, how about that?" As Izuku's saying, "Nice. That should help out quite a bit. So, I think that should end the exam. So let's head back. With soon after all the clones saying, right, with them disappearing, and Izuku putting away his Zanpakuto as it begins to fade, with Izuku thinking, oh, man, I did enjoy actually letting loose a little bit, but to be honest, I thought for sure that that there would be more fun. As Izuku heads back to the entrance, he sees that everyone's looking at him, as he thinks, it shouldn't have to worry about. As the girl with brunette hair saying, you helped me. As saying, yeah, how about you? How are you feeling? As saying, I'm doing alright, but I think my ankle is sprained. As saying, oh really? Hang on, let me help out. As he begins performing hand signs, as saying, what are you? With his hands being glowing green, and he puts his hand on her ankle. With soon after, she began feeling well. As she's saying, wait, did you heal me? Saying, yeah, it's a special technique where I can use to heal people, but it's pretty high technique, but it's not a quirk, I will tell you that. As he laughs it off, trying to tell her that trying to make sure that they don't know it's a jutsu, even though they wouldn't know where to begin with that. As soon after, everyone thinks, I saw that huge explosion and gust of light. Was that you? As another participant saying, there's no way. Nobody would be able to destroy that thing unless you're a pro hero or possibly even All Might. As saying, but he just came back here without a scratch. And he was the only one out there. There's no way in hell. As one saying, no, I saw him helping me out on the way here. He had to come. There's no way he would have been there. As another saying the same thing. And another. As Izuku begins feeling a little bit embarrassed. With Recovery Girl soon arriving. Saying, alright now, everyone please calm down. If you have any injuries, please come to me where I'll be healing them. Also, if you are feeling well, you better get going. As Izuku hears this, saying, well, that should do it for me. I hope to see you here at UA. As she's saying, wait, what's your name? As saying, my name's Izuku. Izuku Midoriya. But people call me Deku. As he soon just disappears from people seeing him. As she's saying, Izuku Midoriya. Deku. He's so strong and kind. I really do hope I can see him again. As soon after, Izuku heads back home as he tells his mom that he's back from the entrance exam. Soon after, a week later, Izuku hasn't heard a thing from UA. As Inko saying, are you worried, Izuku, that you haven't heard anything? As Izuku saying, nah, I'm not too worried. To be honest, it just shows I just gotta be more patient. If I don't get an acceptance letter, then so be it. As saying, you're so mature about this, Izuku. You really have changed quite a bit. Is it because you go to training in multiple worlds? As saying, yeah, you could say that. As saying, so, how old are you now? Since, as soon after Izuku spits off a little bit of his food, saying, you already know about that? Saying, I'm your mother. You've grown quite a bit. It almost seems like you're a completely different person now. You're so mature and so, how old are you, really? As Izuku began laughing, saying, I think I'm at least 20 years old at that, as he tries laughing a bit, saying, so my son is 20 years old, but he still looks 15. I guess that's what I should expect from having a son with a quirk like yours. As Izuku laughs and soon says, thanks for the meal, Mom. I really appreciate it. As he puts his plate in the sink and does the dishes for himself as he heads back into his room. And soon after, he takes a little break, thinking he should probably go out doing some vigilante work. As he was about to use the Shadow Clone Jutsu, his mom comes in, barging in with a freaked out look, as Izuku saying, "Mom, can you please calm down? What's the matter? Talk." And she's saying, you have a letter from UA. As Izuku saying, "Really?" Soon after, Izuku sees the letter and soon opens it up with a hologram inside, but not an acceptance letter, thinking pretty high tech. Makes sense since UA is a pretty high tech school. As soon after, the hologram soon opens up with a video of All Might saying, young Izuku Midoriya, I'm here to tell you that you, out of at least 500 participants within the hero course, was able to get in. But not only that, you were also given the highest score in UA history, even breaking my personal record. As Izuku saying, "Really? I beat All Might's record? That is awesome." But not only that, you didn't just get the highest points just with villain points, but also with rescue points. As we looked at the footage, we saw multiple people looking like you, helping others in multiple areas in the practical exam. Many of us believed that you were all siblings, possibly trying to get into the same class. However, it shows that by looking at the video and evidence, with you all look complete the same, believing that this was you entirely. As soon after, he's saying you had over 70 villain points, and not only that, was helping out the young girl and all the other participants with your clones. You were also gained 60 rescue points as well, coming down to at least 130 points, making you having the highest points ever in UA. With that, you will be starting your new year as a first year at UA High, and allow me to be the first to welcome you to your Hero Academia. As the hologram end, as Izuku didn't say much, as he soon began feeling like he was going to explode, as he jumps in the air and says, "Woo!" with a huge ass smile on his face. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I would love to hear them. Also, if you guys saw my community tab, I plan on releasing multiple episodes of What If Izuku Was Trained by Shonen Jump Protagonists. So expect possibly part 4 next week as well. So yeah, at any rate, this is Mooky, signing out. Later.